Welcome to SpeakEasy Conversations, number 60. Arianna Bradford pulls up.
Yeah.
I don't even know what pulls up means. I think it makes me sound young and into it, Doug.
Yeah, as you know, we've got to try to stick with the lingo, I suppose, right?
Well, not with the thumbs up and all that shit.
Yeah, not with the emojis for sure, but yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, are you going to be hip today and show us what you got?
Yes. So I am starting off with a dark wheat lager called Nightshade, which is very pretty can. Simple but pretty.
Wait. Let's see the prettiness. Okay. Yeah.
So this is from Bittersweet Brewing out of Franklin, New York, which is a very small town. And apparently my wife told me this is like less than an hour from us. So I'm gonna have to go there at some point. I've had a few of their beers on the show.
Did you buy that just for the can?
Well, that and the fact that it was a dark wheat lager, which sounded interesting. So the can was part of it, but the dark wheat lager also intrigued me too.
Okay.
So, got my fancy rainbow glass, baby. Ta-da.
Oh, that goofy, nice glass. I like it.
Yeah, look how dark that is, though. So it's a dark wheat lager, so it's definitely dark. That's good. Really good, actually.
Does it have roasty notes?
No. Well, just a slight bit, but like a slightly roasty lager. Like it's really tasty, really drinkable. That'd be really good by a campfire. And look, you got a wee glass there. What is going on in that glass?
It is. Don't be all jealous, Doug. Supermoon's common beer.
I'm going to be jealous.
Supermoon's common beer. It's an amber, but it's called a steam beer. So it's an amber steam or something like that.
Huh.
It is wonderfully toasty and light, and kind of those definitely that bready, but really light, not too hoppy, kind of real more malty than anything. It's cool. We'll get to that.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Right now, talking about beer, but
right. And now, Doug, we're talking about what happens next week, or is it happening, or what the hell's going on, Doug?
It is happening. There was a weird thing where there was some clean zone that there was a permit problem, and Dave Racy, the guy who runs it, was like, "Oh, we finally," and then they got it cleared, so it's happening. There was a bit of a moment where we weren't sure, and you were like, "Well, if that doesn't happen, I'm still in New Orleans with you guys. It's gonna be great." So I'm like, "Yes, it will be." So
there will be drinking. There will be beignets or something, right? There will be
plenty of food,
gumbo and
jambalaya.
What else?
Jambalaya, baby.
Is this thing sold out, Doug? Do we know?
I don't know. I imagine it's going to be pretty popular though, because it's it'll just be interesting because it's also on the weekend of I believe a jazz festival in the French Quarter. So that'll be a blast.
So name drop, Doug. Who we gonna see here?
Well, we're going to see Ren is going to be there for Mulinated Meadery. Mac Brewing is going to be there.
Mac?
Yeah, we got Hannah Ferguson from Dope, and of course, we got our gal April coming. She's staying with us.
What about our crew? Yeah,
and then we got Jerry Richard and you, me, my wife. So it's going to be my wife's going to be there for the first time at one of these festivals with me. So man, it's going to be fun. Got our guy Harold Dale from Port. I think it's Port Orleans Brewing. He's with now. He was with St. X, but now he's at Port
Orleans. And thumbs up hater Brianna.
Yeah, Brianna's going to join us there. All 4'11" of her.
Hey, you better. She said she's coming after me, and she's like, "Oh, I'm not going to hurt my dog, but I'm coming after you, Greg." And I say nice things about her, and you disparage her height, dog.
It's out of love, Greg. It's out of love.
Don't tell me that. I'm not. All right, Doug. Tonight's guest is one of the most fabulous guests we got. Yes.
For sure.
Yes. You see her down there, Doug, saying no. Yes.
I didn't say no. I said yes.
It's great too, because we could shower with wonderful things and she can't come up here and deny it or say anything. Right. So we'll just keep her down there and say nice things about her, right, Doug? That's
for a few minutes. Make her more uncomfortable. It'd be great.
Yeah. But Doug, one of the things that I not that I can't relate to, but I need to be able to open up more is Arianna's work with specifically ADHD, right? Yeah, Doug? And neurodivergency and all that. You want to talk about a little bit about that before we jump in? Because I know that you have your personal things with this, and you're very more connected to this area of people's mindsets than I am. So I would personally like you to talk a little bit about that, and then we'll get Arianna in here.
Yeah, so that's okay. So the neurodivergent did a neurodivergent creator workshop, I believe. And it was interesting because, my wife is very neurodivergent. I'm a little bit neurodivergent. And several of my kids are also neurodivergent, which makes it interesting because there are different flavors of that. So it's not like they all communicate the same way. Like my oldest son is neurodivergent, but possibly on the autism scale, and is very literal. Everything's very literal. And then there's my daughter who is not the opposite, but they're both neurodivergent. It just, I think it was great that she tried to bring folks together who are in that realm and that sphere to be able to talk about their experiences in life, in the world, and basically a world that's built for neurotypical people. So we know some people also that were involved with that. So I just thought it was really great that she did that because it was a needed thing. So
yeah. So Arianna she bridges a big gap here. She covers a lot of things. She's a writer and a coach who specializes in helping navigate the beautiful chaos, I believe she says, as ADHD, from dismantling the perfect mom's myth in her book. We got to get to that, Doug. To century world of herbalism and gaming. She's an expert at finding signal through the noise. And without further ado, Doug, would you like to bring her up? Because we
absolutely
is our friend Arianna Bradford from Costa Rica.
Costa Rica, baby.
Hi guys.
Welcome, Arianna.
Nice to have you back.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's our pleasure always.
Always.
We have to check what's in the glass before we start, but I don't think there is anything.
There almost never is, actually. I stopped drinking. I no longer drink.
Wait. You drink water though, right?
That's fine.
Okay, right. Let's see it. Let's see the bottle. I want to see the bottle.
This is a 2026 Costa Rican
vintage
taken from the tap in my kitchen, the good one, not the one that tastes kind of chlorinated. And I drink nowhere near this much a day. This actually is gonna.
You're one of those neurodivergents.
Yeah. I am. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna pretend that the times I actually fit. I don't. Like, this is gonna probably be about 2 days, maybe 2.5 days worth of water, but I'm drinking water, so take that. And thank you guys for all the welcome backs. I appreciate it. It's nice to be back. Yeah. And everybody say hi to Cass. Say hi, Cass.
Hi, Cass. Just hanging out in the corner.
Well, right now he's licking his whatever, but I'm sure he'll appreciate it. Like a man.
I'm drinking it just has hops and other stuff in it.
I was gonna say, do I give tasting notes? Because I can. Needs ice. That's about all I've got for you. Sorry.
How difficult is that in Costa Rica to have cold water, besides having it in your fridge?
Yeah, I mean, other than having it in your fridge, I mean,
because it's so freaking warm there.
Yeah, I mean, like if you were to get it from like a tap in somebody's yard, it would be hot. But we actually have quite a few creeks, rivers, and things like that are pretty cold, actually. And I live in a very good part of the country where all of the water is completely potable. So it's really not that hard. Yeah, I love it. It's like I said, it is kind of silly though, because we do have like good sinks in our house where if I'm forced to get water from like another sink, I'm very upset about it. So, you know, there is that problem. And we are in the hottest part of the year. So I don't know what it's like right now outside. I mean, do I look like the kind that gets my water from anywhere other than than inside? Please. Absolutely not.
Well, while we're here in Costa Rica, or you're in Costa Rica, I have a Costa Rica question. How does the environment in Costa Rica influence your ability to focus and write compared to when you lived in this silly ass country?
I mean, I'm actually doing a lot better, but you know, my problems were mainly biological. So I feel like that's kind of a difficult question to answer. I will say that the animals here are forever looking to fuck, if I'm being 100% honest. Like 24 hours a day, they're just basically like, you can hear I don't know if you can hear it now. But honestly, until I talk to someone about it, I don't realize that there's always something out there screaming into the abyss, just screaming into the abyss, looking for it always, all the time. And I live on a farm. And so it's even worse because, for example, I was shooting some YouTube videos today and I am in what is usually the quietest part of the house, but I have chickens and my chickens decided to wait up under my window and have like the longest, stupidest fucking conversation about God knows what for like a good 15-20 minutes until I had to go outside and chase them away. So, you know, it's you get so used to background noise that I don't realize it until, so like a college kid, well, yes, but
depends
also
on the college.
But also no, because as far as I know, nature is not hungover. As far as I know, I don't want to pretend to understand what's going on out there. But yeah, no, I mean, I think I've gotten so used to background noise at this point and the sound of just anything screaming that I'm really good at avoiding getting sucked in by at least background sound now at this point. So it's done that for me, for sure. It's also made me see bugs out of the side of my eye all the time. I always think something's crawling near me at all times. It's fine. Sometimes it is a bug. Sometimes it's a gecko. Sometimes it's not anything and I'm hallucinating. You never really know. Yeah, you know.
Like, I got another one if you're good, or you got something.
Yeah, yeah. I have a water question when we get to it, but if you have another question, go ahead.
Another water question. I love
Costa Rica. I guess we're here. Let's go.
Right, so it's not even a Costa Rican question. So if we're going to think about, we're talking about neurodivergence before. Do you are the sinks because there's certain flavors that the water tastes different between the sinks.
Yes, but my husband, who at least does not identify as neurodivergent, I don't think that he's neurotypical, but he also has backed me up on this. He recently went to my favorite sink and got water, and he's like, "Oh my God, this actually does taste better." We don't know why. We have no idea
favorite
why.
sink.
I have a favorite sink, and that sink actually was out of order for like 2 weeks, and my life was completely just turned upside down. I didn't know what to do. I'm 40 years old, you guys, and I was just like, what do I do? How do I get water? I guess I'm just gonna die, you know. And then I had to be reminded that we had like 4 other sinks to get water from. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Do you also have a favorite water bottle?
That it's this one. To be fair, that is also because it's the only one I haven't lost. I lose all my water bottles though. This one is the only one I haven't lost. Therefore, it is my favorite. It's my
well, that makes it by default. Okay, sorry, Greg. That was I could do the neurodivergent shit. I could talk about a lot of different things in that. I don't want to sidetrack the whole show about that. So
this entire show was about water. You're welcome, everybody. I hope you're thirsty.
Well, one of the things that you started out writing about was motherhood and parenting. And obviously, or not obviously, but your book, Shame on You, talked about tackling guilt that parents face. Why do you think society is so uncomfortable with mothers who maintain a strong identity outside their children?
In all honesty, I think the society has a problem. Society has a problem minding their own goddamn business. That's really all it comes down to. It doesn't, I used to think that it was mothers, and it is mothers in general, but I used to think that it was mothers who didn't wrap themselves in their children. And then I started realizing that people judged mothers who wrapped themselves in their children and who were genuinely happy that way. And then I thought, oh no, they have a problem with the mothers who aren't Pinterest perfect. And then I found that there were people who talk shit about the moms who are Pinterest perfect and are genuinely happy about that. It really isn't necessarily being strong or not being strong or being outspoken or not being outspoken. It's just that everybody, for some reason or another, feels that raising children is also their business, even if it's not their children. And moms, I think, are the easiest to target because we are the ones who head the parenting usually, right? I'm not saying all the time. So nobody out there get all mad at me and be like, well, my dad, I mean, then your dad too. But I'm just saying that everybody has come to learn that for some reason or another, their opinions on our childbearing are welcome. And when I wrote that book, I wrote it back in 2020. I remember thinking that I had learned how to skirt those opinions. And then it's only now, 6 years later, that I've realized that I fell victim to those opinions too. I still, it's just that I fell victim to them a different way, where I would be so afraid of what someone's opinion was of my parenting or whether or not I was a good enough parent that sometimes I would flip out and yell at my kids just because I was like, if I don't show that I'm stressed out about your behavior, that person over there is going to think that I'm a bad parent. And then I would think about it later and be like, why did I give a shit? Why did I care? but people are really, they've gotten to a point where, by the way, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I'm a fiddler. I have grabbed like 3 different things while I've been talking, and I'm just
any of them fidget spinners.
But you know what? Fidget spinners don't do it for me. It has to be shit that nobody wants me to play with, I guess. When I was in a band once, this is a total side tangent, but I'm going to go with it anyway. One time when I was in a band during like...
Was that band camp?
No, it was during a practice. And I was sitting in the living room and I'm talking just like I'm talking to you now. And my guitarist had his guitar like right next to me. And as I'm talking, without realizing it, I'm turning the pegs on his guitar. And nobody noticed that I was doing it until he picks it up to play and it sounded like shit. And he's like, what's wrong with my guitar? And I'm like, Oh.
Oh,
Weird. Oopsie.
oops.
Oopsie. Sorry. So I have a really bad. It's like it's got to be just random shit around me. But anyway, all of that to say, long answer. I do feel that it's not so much just whether you have a strong personality or not. I think it genuinely just has to do with the fact that for some reason parenting seems like a really easy target for people who feel like their opinions need to be heard. It's really what it just comes down to.
Doug?
I can empathize with that in a lot of ways. I once wrote a piece about how I had taken my sons to like a little water park by where I lived, but I had our dog with, and I didn't realize I couldn't take the dog in. So I had to stand outside of a fenced thing with a like not a water park, but it's like a little thing, like 100 by 70 feet, just little water, like the buckets of water dump on kids and their sprinklers. So I'm walking around and I was getting the most evil looks in the world because I was walking around with a pit bull outside the thing, and I had to go, hey, Kyle and Eric, are you guys okay? Everything? They're like, yeah, Dad. And I'm like, I got to keep letting them know I'm actually like they were like
you wind up having to like act out in public, being like, I'm a good parent, everybody. Don't call CPS. You know.
I'm not the problem. I'm here with my kids. I just can't be in there because I have a dog.
Yeah, it's you know, I'm running into that now. My son is 11 and he is starting to do 11-year-old boy stuff. Mm-hmm. And he says shit sometimes that I'm like, can you please not say that in public? Because people are going to think that, you know, they're going to wonder what's going on here. And what has been very interesting is that amongst my friends down here and amongst my community, he is amongst, if not the oldest child. There are not a lot of people who have kids his age. And so I'm getting a lot of judgment even from other parents who will be like, oh, well, you know, what kind of kid says this or what kind of kid does that?
Just
and I'm
wait.
like, yeah. And that's basically been my attitude is, you know, I haven't said it to them because what's the point? But I'm like, boy, I sincerely hope that I am there for when this happens, when your kid turns 11, because I'm going to point and laugh. I am a petty asshole and I will point and laugh. Like, because this is just, it's just the age. It's just how kids are. So, I mean, you know, I'm going to do that. I think I rant about the internet and how ubiquitous it is every single show we have. I'm pretty sure every time you guys ask me something, I go, it's the damn internet. It's going to be like that every time we meet, I think. But I'm going to do it anyway. I almost fully blame the fact that we now have the internet in our pockets. I very, very much believe that the reason why we think that we deserve to know the finer points of people's lives, why we think that we deserve to know things that people don't want to share, why we feel like we have the right to judge whether or not someone's being honest enough with us. I feel like that's because we've got this computer in our pocket and we have gotten to the point where everything that comes on the little black box or whatever color is in your pocket, it must be for me. It must be about me. It must be dedicated to me. So if you're saying that you're not happy as a parent, that means that you want my comment. You want my opinion. It even has a comment box right there. So obviously that means that you want to hear me say that you're a terrible parent because you're and it's like, no, I don't want to hear from you. It just pisses me off. I'm sorry. I just realized I think I do this rant every single time. I'm not going to play it back, but I'm sure that, you know, maybe someday someone will and they'll be like, wow, she bitches about this.
Mm-hmm.
And I do. I'm sorry, but it's true. Mm-hmm. It's true.
Doug, can I tee her up on? So if you don't like the internet,
we're just gonna get her set up and watch her go.
Yeah, well,
wind you up and hit you right.
Yeah, this wasn't on my notes at all. Doug knows I have some notes. This wasn't on my notes at all, but this is perfect. I almost should just toss this up and just take myself off stage, and you and Doug could go at it.
Little grenade.
Because if you think that the internet is causing so many societal issues, you must really not like AI.
Oh, no, okay, so listen, that's not the same thing, but
No,
this does,
no, it's not. No, it's not. But there's a lot of parallels, though, right, Arianna?
oh, no. Okay, so here's the thing. Going back to why I hate the internet, I also hate the internet because it lacks nuance. And actually, I was just talking to someone about this today, about how people are about AI. AI's got a lot of negative usage. I do not think it has a place in creative spaces. People, one of the beautiful things about humans, and I'm a grouch, and I'll admit that people are trash most times, but one of the things that makes humans amazing is the fact that we can make something from nothing, that we can be conduits almost, right? Not to be like wooey, but it's true. As a writer, sometimes you just feel it. You know that something's coming through you that you did not expect to come, and you don't know where it came from, and you're making something beautiful, and computers have no place there. They have no place there. They can be, I think, an assistant, like maybe at the most, but they should not be writing books. They should not be making artwork. They should not be doing anything that encroaches on making music. That's a new thing now. People are like AI music. I'm like, okay. So, that is not where AI belongs. That being said, okay. I think that people who automatically act as if the usage of AI means that work is automatically cheapened are also not seeing some of the value. I use AI sometimes I can see on Doug's face, he's like, bitch, no, listen.
I want to hear your point. Let's hear your point. I want to hear your point.
We're gonna have different opinions. I know this. Look at him. Greg is like, dance, monkeys, dance. Yes, I hear your point. Listen, I feel like, for example, I do a lot of work with folklore and mythology. My book is based in folklore and mythology. A lot of my work on YouTube and Instagram has to do with folklore and mythology. I love that stuff, and I read it a lot on my own. But sometimes if I need to talk about something in particular, like I just recently did a video that's coming out closer to Mother's Day that's about terrible parents in folklore, terrible mothers specifically.
There's plenty of those.
Oh my God. Hera, dude, fuck Hera. That's
just
all.
Start there. Just start there.
I was like, she's a terrible, terrible parent. Don't even get me started. But it is helpful to have AI available to help me with that research. Do I have it write the scripts for me? No. And when I ask for the research, I actually tell it, hey, give me the links you got this from, so that I can read it myself and make sure that it's not pulling things wrong. And it has done that before, where it's hallucinated shit. And I'm like, that's not the story that you told me. I don't think that that's correct. So it's helpful in that regard. It's helpful for me as an author when I am trying to keep track of changes that I want to make in my book. Yeah, I could do that in the Notes app, but it gets really tangled, and it can be very helpful to be able to be like, hey, what did I say I wanted to change in chapter 4, for example? I will also say, just to put this out there, I don't use ChatGPT. So mine might be a little bit different. I don't use ChatGPT and I don't use Claude. I use something called Little Bird, which is a little bit different. So my experience might also be a little bit different from everybody else's. I use it for, sometimes I do use it for brainstorming. I do not use it for writing, but sometimes nobody wants to sit and talk to me about my book for 4 hours while I try to untie a plot hole. So I will sit there and I'll be like, this is the plot hole I have. Why am I having this issue? And I'm going to say right now, AI can't write worth a damn, but it can sometimes help me logic my way out of a problem I'm having. So, do I think AI has a place in art as a generator? No. Do I think it has a place in our lives as a tool, as something to help? Yes, that's my take on it. And now Doug is going to probably yell at me, but I still love it. I still love it. I still love it.
Not a problem from Greg, not Doug. Go, Doug.
All right. So, as someone who has worked in IT over 25 years, AI is not a brilliant thing. It isn't. It is. If you want to do some very menial task and take that out of my hands, I am all for that.
Agreed.
There's something like, now there's many problems with it. The environmental one is the big one for me because I'm very big about the environmental cost of it. Any super data center that they put in just gobbles up all the fresh water there, wherever it is. Yeah. And those folks that live there don't realize it. They think they're getting a boon to the economy, and their water bills are going to be fucking enormous. On top of it, those data centers make crazy noise. It's just constant hum in the air for miles around it. I'm not kidding. I had the videos that you could see in a variety of platforms talk about that. And that's not something I expected. I expected to be, hey, it's got to be in an environment. The reason they use all the water is to cool all the servers so they're not heating up and overheating. Even so, there's other consequences. There's the CPU chips, there's RAM. All that stuff is quadrupled in price because data centers want to buy all of it, which means if you want to buy a personal computer, it's going to be 3 times the price it was. If you want to buy a console, a gaming console, the next generation of gaming consoles are going to be twice, if not 3 times more expensive because of the RAM and CPU chips. That's just the environmental issues notwithstanding, and those are great. That's not something we should ignore. It is not something that can give you intuition. It is not an intuitive product. And the idea that it comes in and it just has all this, no, it stole all the information that it needed. It stole it. It stole it from authors. The amount of authors that are like, somehow my books got into this AI database because they fucking stole it, and they steal all the things they possibly can to build its platform so it knows how to work. And it doesn't know how to work. It still needs prompting. It still needs direction.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's not something you can say, what is this? It'll give you 50,000 answers. That it's like a search engine, but it's a more sophisticated search engine.
Oh, for sure.
That's it.
Can we agree, Doug, that for that very reason, people who have AI boyfriends and girlfriends, those, can we say that there's a problem there? Can we agree that those people are insane? Like, can we? I'll come to you. I will come meet you in the middle to say, I don't understand those people. Those people are, and they'll be like, he says he loves me, and it's like, because you told him to. You prompted him to say that. Like, and not even him. You prompted it to say that. So at least we can agree on that. No, but I did just want to say, I hope I'm not cutting you off, and if I am, I'll shut up. But I was just going to say, I agree with you. Actually, somebody was once saying, I like the way they put it. They said, I want AI to do the grunt work so I can make the art, not the other way around.
Exactly. That's what it should be used for.
Mm-hmm. And that was 100% my take, is I think that it should be freeing up time for us to do things that make us feel more human. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. And I do also want to say that the environmental thing is the one thing that I have a really hard time reconciling in my mind. I'm hoping, even though with this current
administration up in the United States,
I don't know that that's going to be happening anytime soon, but hopefully maybe at some point there will be legislature that will do something about it. I don't know, because I am going to say the hard part is I don't think AI is ever going to go away. Like you said, it's not new. We've always had AI. It's just that these LLMs are now what a lot of people are willing to use. I just don't think they're going anywhere. So
it depends. Yeah. It depends. There's a lot of evidence that this is like that. It's sort of like the tech bubble from years ago. That there's a lot of evidence that it could burst.
I mean, every bubble bursts eventually, but I don't know that it'll ever fully dissipate. You know, it's honestly, we just have no, like, I remember there were people who were saying the internet was a fad. Remember that? They were.
I was never one of those people. This is different.
I wasn't. I mean, I came out when I was like 14, so me either. But I mean, I remember people being on TV, being like, "Oh, the internet, it's a fad," and it's like, that's funny. That's hilarious that you thought that was going to disappear. So it's hard to say. But
those are also the same people that told you don't ever put your credit card information or believe everything on the internet. Now the same people are like, the lizard people are invading. Oh, great, cool.
Loan because this Nigerian prince says that he can't get into his bank account. You don't understand. I'm trying to be a good Samaritan here. Yeah, it's a but yeah, the environmental thing is a really hard one, and that's kind of like that's part of the reason why if I can get away with doing something on my own, I'll genuinely try to not use it. I will say, just in the interest of being honest, the one thing that I'm really bad at using AI for is like medical anxiety. Like I'll be like, my head's been hurting since 6 p.m. last night, and it's now 6 a.m.
Have you not learned from WebMD?
I clearly haven't, and I know I have a problem. I want to make it clear. I know I have a problem. Okay, I know that this is bad, and I know that I shouldn't. I'm not perfect. That's all I'm trying. I know that this is a surprise to all of you, but this is not perfect. I'm not perfect.
Well, we have a surprise for now. I'll use this as a segue. We have a surprise for you, Miss Arianna Bradford.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We have a surprise for you. Okay. So, yeah. Well, without further ado, might as well just bring.
Oh my God! No way!
Hi!
Oh
I've
God.
been summoned by the universe to
I actually
be
feel like
here.
I might cry a little bit, you guys. Hi!
Oh, no.
I don't know if you've checked your WhatsApp, but I literally messaged you. I
I
messaged
know.
you, and I was like, I'm on Greg and Doug's show, and I miss you. Oh my God, that's amazing, guys. Yay.
Hi, everybody.
Lauren's here. We're all good. It's fine.
Hi,
Clearly
Lauren.
this was meant to be. Hello, everyone, here and in chat and on screen. Everyone on this screen basically not told me to show up, but was like, oh, the show and Arianna. And so I couldn't not. How could I stay away?
Ooh, hold on. Isn't your birthday tomorrow?
Maybe.
I was gonna message you, and now I can just say it. I mean,
then you don't have to like wait because going to sleep and all that stuff.
I don't have to wait for you. I don't have to do anything but be black and white. Happy birthday, Lauren. God damn it. Jesus Christ. You're welcome.
State that. Thank you.
You're welcome. It's gonna be 40 is fantastic. It's great. It's awesome.
It's happening.
Yeah, right.
Stars.
Look at that.
Anyway.
By the way,
that could be construed in a few different ways there, but
I'm just gonna. I mean, it does kind of look like it's coming from but you know what? Happy and you either way. Happy birthday! I'm very, very happy. That's so cool. It's like a gift. It's like a gift for me for your birthday.
It's our birthdays. Yours was recent.
That's true. It was 2 weeks ago. It's 2 weeks ago.
Math is hard.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, nobody expects anything from me, so I can get away with being wrong. It's fine.
You're like, I don't know. It was like months ago. It
was October. What was it? I don't know. No, it was like 2-3 weeks ago.
Well, surprise! Here I am.
Lauren, do you have anything in the glass besides water? You didn't know you were coming on until minutes ago.
It was a surprise for all of us. Honestly, it was half thought of, and then it worked. I was driving home when I got your message, so I did not reply to it because safety. But I was like, oh man, she has no idea.
Wait, so was this a plan like a while ago? Like, was this not
a while ago? Like hours.
I mean, that's still guys. You gave me Lauren.
To be fair, it was Greg's idea.
Greg started it.
Great fucking idea.
Greg started it.
It's really Greg's fault. And then Doug really piled on, and it was a whole problem. And then you were like, I miss you. And then I couldn't. I'm helpless now.
I don't know how I feel about your imitation of me, by the way. Does my voice sound like that?
No, but that's my like non-yelling version of like emphasis for it was in caps. It was in caps. Yes, the emphasis on the wrong syllable. This is where we're at. Okay, so I got home, and just because like I was out all day and I was driving, I was like, so I had an immunity shot. tasty
Okay.
pineapple turmeric things.
Hey,
And then
that's good.
I did have a little water. And then in honor of you, I was like, what do I have in my cabinet? I pulled out a tiny, very heavy glass bottle of a Wild Child rosé from like 2021.
Cute.
That
That's
Cute.
vintage.
It's a vintage. This is a special occasion. And it looks like this. And I pulled out this glass.
Classy,
So
sassy. But
we're somewhere
did-
between.
where did
I
it
took
start?
it was around sassy, but I took a sip. So we're edging towards classy.
Classy. Got it. Okay.
Mm,
Sassy
mm.
on the way to classy.
That's dubious.
So
Yeah.
the plan was
That's not a
hat.
happy face you just made.
Yeah. The plan started yesterday morning is when I sent Lauren that
That
text.
sounds right, maybe. I've
Yeah,
lost track of
yeah.
time.
How did you know
Uh,
to make it a surprise? Because I have to say, Lauren and I have not had a chance to chat in quite a while.
A minute.
Because she decided that she was going to go be a fucking rock star at what she does. And I started doing my book stuff, and we were just like, we can't.
We're
do
just
shit
very popular
for a
and
while.
busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're popular.
Well, to be fair, I like to talk to people regularly.
This is fair. This is fair. Because I don't do the popularity. I do the I'm busy doing a thing and no one really knows about it until I just say something about it last minute. But we haven't, we checked up on each other, I think, like quite a while ago.
It's been a minute.
And then hadn't had a while to talk to. So I'm just like, did you know about this, or were you just like, you know what? I would just love to see Lauren, which is true. I love to see her all the time, but
the text goes, we are hosting Arianna Friday. If you want to crash without our knowledge, just let us know.
Oh,
That
okay.
was the text. And I was like, maybe what's happening?
You're like, huh? I guess, sure.
Yeah, I literally was.
You said no, and then I was like, I miss you. You would have been like, ooh, ooh.
Uh-oh. Did she also know? Is this a ruse? For me?
No, god damn it. And be like, what? I don't understand.
Yeah, I was texting very early in the show, and that's who I was texting. I was texting Lauren. You're gonna pop on the show.
Okay. Fair.
Yeah, I got that. I was like, oh shoot, it is after showtime. I was not home yet, but I am here. Also, this is not bad. I was like, I don't drink wine all the time. It is a darker.
It is.
Rosé.
That does not
That-
look like a rosé.
I know. I was like, is this part of the vintage part that has happened? I'm not sure. It's not bad. I was like, I don't know. I feel like I tend towards darker, heavier, stronger flavors, like in stronger teas and stronger, like stout. Y'all know my heavy hitter dark beers. Give me a cab.
Or your
I'm like,
half
so-
bottle of Sorel.
That was great and not heavy.
No, but that was you drank, I think you drank like 3/4 of a bottle on the show. That was impressive.
I mean, by the end, the rest was poured over ice cream. So who's to say? But it was fine. It was very tasty, and there was no hangover. So I'm not always into like the rosés as much because they're like in between flavor. But like, it's not bad. Did it taste better several years ago? Maybe, but I don't have a comparison. Drinkable, not my favorite. Not bad. It's Wild Child. What do you expect?
So just we're gonna go to drinks then. I opened this. This is from Daniel Fisher. Thank you, Daniel. This is a Threes Brewing My Righteous Self Rawaka India Pale Ale, which I'm not an IPA person generally, but this is really quite good. It's got a lot of citrusy notes in it. It's not super duper hoppy, which is what I don't like in IPAs. Very drinkable, 6.4%. Very plain can, which is fine. I like
graphic.
Yeah. You didn't see the earlier one I had. Look at this can there, Lauren.
Oh, ooh. It's like vectory and ominous.
Yeah, it's cool looking. So vectory. That is an adjective now.
I thought I heard rectory at first. I was like, no, it's not.
Rectum. Didn't even know him.
Barely know.
That's not a rectory, Doug. Wow.
Sorry.
Anyway,
I took some
save
artistic liberties.
Lauren, save us.
Hello. What haven't we talked about yet? I am not sure what to say, but I will keep saying words if that helps. I make up words a lot. Should I say more words?
You are very good at keeping conversations going.
This one was
I
not
had a
as
good
but, like-
question for Arianna. I had a good one.
Oh, Greg, take it away.
Oh no, what?
Okay.
I actually love you, Greg. Go on.
I'm gonna tie it all together. So breweries and tap rooms are things that a lot of our people who watch us are very familiar with. But the problem is they could be high sensory environments with loud music, crowded rooms, complex flavor profiles. As someone who coaches on neurodiversity, what advice would you give a person who would like to enjoy these social spaces without being easily overstimulated?
Well, I mean, I haven't coached in a while. I would say though, as somebody who knows ADHD pretty well and also knows myself, that I mean, it really kind of breaks down to three things. The first is to know your limits. If you know that you can only really handle a place like that for a couple of minutes, then it may not be the place for you, and that's okay. So instead, maybe try to figure out a way to get a hold. A lot of tap rooms, one of the things that I appreciate about them is that they tend to bottle or can their stuff. See if you can take it home, go in, get it, get out. There's nothing wrong with that. And then just having the time to hang out with your people that you want to hang out with someplace quieter. If they're your friends, they'll understand. The second thing is to try to see when the busiest hours are and avoid those. If you're someone who knows that a tap room is going to be overflowing at 6 p.m., don't go at 6 p.m. Go when it opens, go closer to closing, but don't hang out in there when you know there's going to be a billion people. That's really this is all just kind of coming down to babying yourself and knowing what your boundaries are. And then the third thing is, if you do decide that you're going to push through, don't be afraid to use aids. And that would be like headphones, right? Noise canceling headphones, trying to sit outside. A lot of tap rooms have outside areas. Make sure that you're using the environment and the tools that you have at your disposal to the best of your ability. I mean, really the biggest thing that I used to talk about when I would talk to clients is this isn't about figuring out how to fix your ADHD. It's about realizing that this is the only brain you got and working with what you have. So instead of trying to figure out, how do I make myself fit in this situation? You just say, like, how am I going to make this situation fit me? How am I going to make it so that we meet in the middle? So that was the most serious answer I've given this entire time. Don't be used to it. But
congratulations.
You're welcome. Yes. I ruined it. Sorry. Concert earplugs.
I was gonna ask about this actually, because I feel like I'm pretty neurotypical with some things that every so often I'm like, maybe that's a little neurodivergent, but in a lot of ways, pretty neurotypical. But I feel like even for hearing sounds, the concert earplugs where it's I was gifted some that forgive the name, but they're called eargasms. And I'm like, the brand is a choice.
Okay.
But there's those, or the ones that allow still sound. So it's not like an earplug, but allow stuff through the loop things. I feel got really popular for a while, where it's semi noise canceling. I haven't actually tried those though in regular non-concert specific situations, but I feel like those also might be a little helpful to make it less.
Anything that's meant to cancel out loud noise is going to be perfect.
Also outside, there's, depending on where you're at and the season and the weather, breweries, tap rooms and stuff that maybe have outside spaces. It's not so noise bouncing off of all of the hard metal walls and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
Depending on where you live, if it's not snowy in winter.
I mean, Portland doesn't care. When I used to live in Oregon, they didn't give a shit that they were cold. They were and outdoors.
We will be in nature.
It will be outdoors. And you're like, this is miserable. Why are we doing this? And they're like, because it's what we do. So, okay. But yeah, those are all ways to make it work. I mean, it's funny because I'm listening to this and I'm like, we want to force ourselves to go out and be surrounded by people. That's the goal. I feel like that does not compute. But I mean, if you're going to do stuff like that, the main point is to just ask yourself what you can handle and be honest about it, and then work around that. Yeah.
So I have a different view on this from a different perspective. Like, so again, like there's certain places I will go. Like my wife is neurodivergent, and there's certain places you just won't go because it's just too overstimulating. It's too much. Like
Right.
there's a birthday party recently for a couple friends of ours. It was at this brewery, and it is just neon lights. It is a box, and it's just every noise bounces off of everything. There's no soft surfaces. And for her, that's too much. For me, that place is difficult because I can't hear well.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a perspective of being able to go into certain spaces, and I'm a super social person, so I don't have the problem of, oh well, not a problem, but like I don't have the approach of like I don't want to be around people. I love being around people. I think Lauren, you and I are very much the same as like I want to talk to a bunch of people all the time. And but my wife is not. My wife is like I can put a mask on and I can do that for a while. And when I come home, she's just like
I'm out, down for the count. Don't talk to me.
That was all the energy I had. You're welcome. Goodbye. Yes.
Yeah. So there's this one little bar I love going to. It is small and the surfaces are very soft, and it has great beer taps and it has great whiskey, which I drink whiskey. They have a great whiskey selection, which I'm a whiskey drinker. But I go there early because it's less people and I can hear better.
Yep.
Even with hearing aids, the problem is if you go in hearing aids in some place where things are just bouncing all over the place, it's worse. It's worse because it's like an onslaught of noise from everywhere. And I can't handle that because my ears normally don't handle that.
Mm-hmm.
So I just find it interesting. Like your approach is more like this is overwhelming, and mine is like it can be overwhelming for me on a noise level, depending on the venue.
I mean,
so
you also have to understand that I'm also coming from a way more introverted place than you or Lauren. Because for
respect.
Exactly. So it's like for me, it's overwhelming. Not just because it might be overstimulating. I was answering according to overstimulation because that's like where it felt Greg was leaning. But I wouldn't really personally choose to want to stay at a place like that anyway, just because for me, crowds are a lot. Because I feel like I'm expected to be on and talking and interacting with everyone. And that takes a lot of energy out of me. I get exhausted. And that's just not fun to me. If I have to stand around and be like, oh, the weather. I mean, I don't want to talk about that.
Doug has thoughts about weather or no weather.
Do you have thoughts about the weather there, Doug?
No, I have thoughts about small talk because that sounds like you're
not
talking
weather.
Small talk.
Totally.
Hold on, we'll let her get her dog kind of calm down there.
Totally.
But like my wife is also a person. My wife would be like, I don't like small talk. I'm like, so you just want to jump into the deepest possible conversation immediately?
Tell me your childhood traumas.
Okay, you don't want that. You don't want that right off the bat. You don't want that right off the bat. You got to ease into that shit. Like
I'm just kidding.
That's a little too up here. Can we come down there?
A little too badassy up there.
But Lauren, it's like that's at the lip. That's like the second.
All the way, like trauma. We want to go trauma.
Trauma.
Should be a trauma.
Can you tone it down a minute?
I'm not saying okay. You don't have to tell me your childhood traumas,
but you want that.
But I get what she means.
Totally.
In that when you're if you're going to put forth all that effort, if you're going to put forth all that energy, I am not putting forth all that energy to wonder whether or not it's going to rain today. Like we're going to, and plus I also think, and you would have to ask her if this is what it is for her, but this is my guess as well, is I think some of it may also come from the fact that most of the time we are afraid, right? We're masking in a way because we don't know if the person is somebody we can trust with our true selves. So somebody talking about the rain outside, that doesn't tell me whether I can talk to you as myself or not. Whereas if I'm like, so Trump's piece of shit, right? And you're like, oh my God, I know. I'm like, hooray! I can be me, it's great. Or even, not better, but like, even if the person's like, No, I have him taped to a pillow and we do things at night. You can be like, cool.
Like, all right, nice to meet you. See you later.
Yeah, you know, like,
gotta go.
but, oh, is that my phone that I forgot in the car? I have to go. Yeah. So I almost wonder if part of it could be too, that we feel like we can lower our masks a little bit once we know more about you, and small talk just doesn't give you that look into who people are.
So there is an interesting piece to that, and sorry, Lauren, if I'm stepping on you here, but this the idea of like small talk is an entry point, and like so if you don't know anybody, you're just like, all right, how are you? How are things? You know, and if you say, well, things aren't great, then I'm like, okay, cool. If you want to talk to me about that, I'm open to that. But if you don't, you say not feeling great, or if you go, I really don't want to talk about that, I'm not going to pursue or push that. I'll be like, okay, well, hope you're okay. Please take care of yourself. And then I'm moving on, because that person clearly is uncomfortable. And the last thing I want to do is make anybody uncomfortable. That is not a thing I relish. I do not like that shit. But it reminds me, when you were talking about asking about Trump, did either of you see the most recent season of Love is Blind? This is going to be a dumb tangent, but I promise you.
I was like, I did that. What a sentence. No.
All right, Love is Blind is a completely stupid show. It's a dumb show. It's just dumb.
And yet a lot of people watch it.
I haven't watched it either.
And I don't know, but I hear about it a lot.
I have not been watching it.
So this past season was set in Ohio, which Ohio is a mess.
The land of love.
It is not the land of love. It's the land of Trump people. But anyway, but there is one lady on there who was a doctor. She was really successful. She had her own house. And she kind of got interested in this guy, and she asked him who he voted for. That was a question she directed directly at him, and he goes, "I'm not political, and I don't need to talk about that."
You voted
and
for
that
Trump.
is code. That's
So
code for you voted for Trump.
Yeah,
and
you're
then
Republican. That's
so he kept doing that, and then he pulled this shit where he was like, "Well, I generally like women who take Pilates," and she's like, "Well, I don't do Pilates," and he's like, "I know, and that's a problem." I'm like, "Are you?" But this is the thing. He was trying to get an out because he knew
that's what it was, is he like realized she's going to turn me down if she knows who I voted for. So I have to come up with a way to be like, you can't fire me, I quit, basically, is what that was.
Like, I fire you.
Oh, yeah? Well, you don't do Pilates, so.
There was also a thing, I don't know if you saw it, there was this lady who went to Ireland as an American, and she was in an Irish pub in a small town in Ireland, and they asked her who she voted for, and she kind of tried to hem and hawed about it. And
I heard about that.
And they went at her, and they're like, "You voted for Trump," and she's like, "All I wanted to do," and I'm like, "You dipshit! Irish people talk about politics from the fucking jump. They don't mess and fuck around. You're in Ireland. They're going to ask you. You are going to get
their entire history is highly political. Like, you don't get to be like, I don't care about. And then I do remember that, and she was like shocked. She's like, they don't like Trump here, and it's like, yeah, they don't nobody really, except for psychos. Really, I don't know how to tell you. Even here in Costa Rica, somebody stopped my husband because my husband is a tall white dude.
Guy.
They
tall white glass of water, baby.
Hey, I might be lactose intolerant, but I'm gonna get
milk?
my milk somehow.
Look at Greg's face.
Had to come back on just to.
Yeah, he's like, I have to come back to let you know that I'm not mad.
This is how serious I am.
You know what? I don't care. Anyway, but somebody stopped my husband at the hardware store shortly after Trump was reelected. And he kind of like started talking to him. And this guy is speaking in Spanish. He's from here. He's Tico. My husband was just like, oh, yeah, it's nice to meet you too. Small talk, right? And because of that small talk, he assumed that my husband was one of those dudes that would be happy when he was like, yeah, I actually love what Trump is doing in your guys' country. Like, it's good. He needs to get all of the immigrants out. And Mark was just like, I'm going to go get the hammer that I was looking for. I'm going to go. And he came home and he was like, why do people assume that I would be okay with that?
Because
And
you're a white guy.
I'm like, you're a white guy and you're from the US. He would not have had that conversation with me at all. So, you know, there are people who genuinely do not seem to, you know what? I really, honestly, this is another rant I could get into about how people have lacked empathy. Empathy is dying as a skill set.
Mm-hmm.
But why would we do? We were having a great talk. I made a sexual innuendo about milk. Why do we have to ruin that by talking about how people are trash? Why should
Do you want to go? Do you want me to pull it back a different way?
do it,
Yes.
Lauren? Do it. Take the wheel, grab the wheel, and just
To the small
No,
talk.
I want.
Greg is like, no, let's rant some more. I would
Right.
Greg's all about the tea. Let's go.
Yeah, I'll get out of here and let Lauren talk.
Greg, come back. We like you in
Wait,
other
Greg,
topics
no,
too.
come back.
No, come back.
No.
Okay,
It's good.
So, like,
it's
the thing
good.
is-
It's good. No, small talk. I love it. I love this guy. Doug,
Do you
I
love small
haven't seen Doug that heated in like a long time.
About
So
small
poke that
talk?
bear, please. I'll be right
He
back.
had a finger up. We were waving. I don't know.
I didn't waggle.
This is
I
true.
didn't
It was
do the
I
waggle,
have
'cause
a
that's
thing to
disrespectful.
say.
It was just
I have a thing to say.
It was an
That it.
aggressive
somebody screenshot this
exclamation
and
point.
explain nothing because this that was very weird. I'll was like,
I mean, it's like an exclamation point of a finger hand gesture.
Oh,
I have something to say. Um,
and one more thing. Yeah.
but I feel
especially when a white guy's like, "Hey,
hey, something says like, oh god, okay. well.
there we
Peru.
go. This fucking
Um,
guy."
But okay, as a extroverted, I love to talk to people about anything. I was like, I can like wiggle my way through small talk if I need to. But I also am like, no, let's get to more interesting, fun topics, which don't have to be trauma. There's a lot in between that spectrum. But if they want to, sure, maybe. But Maddie, who's my business partner, who some of y'all might know, and you know, everyone on here knows. My business partner and I, we do play. Oh my god, the wine is happening. Playful professional development. And so like we do like workshops, and one of them is on neurodiversity in the workplace, and we talk about that exact thing where the social norm is small talk, which is like, it's Monday, and you're like, who cares? Nobody cares. Yes, obviously it's Monday, but it's like we both exist on this calendar. But then we talk what we call large talk, small talk and large talk, and large talk is the like special interest, the deeper thing, the B-sides type stuff that you want to talk about. And it could be trauma, or we do this thing where we are talking about like someone can come and be like, dude, what's your favorite Beatle? And you're like, what? Like most people are like not prepared.
At questions like that. Like shortly after you and I met, you were like, if
You mean like the Beatles? Like
No,
bug.
I mean like a
the actual
creature.
Beatle?
Like a
like a bug. This is that you don't understand. This is a talent of Lauren's where she takes like a thing that exists in our world that you would not like tie yourself to, and she'd be like, if you were a rollerblade, what kind would you be? And you're like,
I mean, I don't, if you haven't, I definitely feel like I've asked it, but like if you were a beverage because of your personality.
You have asked me this. And I said,
if you were a beverage because of your personality, what would you be and why? And it's just like, you could be like, I'm coffee because I'm a little bit bitter and I like mornings. And you're like, okay. Or you could go deeper with the levels that like Doug was saying, like, it's like not quite small talk, but it's like people can opt in at like a very surface level, or they could be like, go real deep and be like, well, I'm coffee because like I've been here since the beginning and I've gone through a lot. And you're like, what have you gone through?
I'm coffee
sir?
because colonizers destroyed my family in order to, whoa.
You're like, oh, okay, that's what you want to talk about. It like opens the door to let people in. But small talk and large talk are real. And it's because of a thing. We're going to get educational for a second. Assumption of common ground.
Yep.
Neurotypical people are like, I assume that we have nothing in common. So we are both on Monday. It is raining. We can talk about the weather. We're both in the same office. We're both waiting for this late BART train or bus stop, whatever. But then a lot of neurodivergent people go greater assumption of common ground. So it's like, I'm excited about this thing. You're cool. You're probably also excited about that thing. Let's talk about that thing. And a lot of neurotypical people are like, what is happening? I don't know anything about beetle bugs and I feel weird about it and I don't know names of them. The one that's in the movie Aladdin, is that a beetle? I don't know. And people get weirded out about it. So, it's a thing and it's a practice, but it's so much more interesting.
It is more interesting. But you know what I think it actually also might be is that there is a tendency to, I think, for a lot of people to be more self-contained, especially now, especially since like COVID, right? And so I think that it was kind of funny because when Doug was like, how are you doing? And he was talking about saying, how are you doing? And someone says like, I'm not doing well. I was like, that's me. Don't ask me that question because I'm not going to lie. Like, I won't tell you. Yeah, I'm not going to be like, I'm great. I will legit tell you.
Also, don't ask that question if you don't actually want the answer.
Right there. But, so it's, but I think that we've become so self-contained that when people ask that question, it's just another way of saying hi. And they really don't want to go outside of that sphere. Whereas I think that it's very common with people with neurodivergence, but maybe even people who are not neurodivergent, there's this thought of like, okay, I already know what's going on here. Like, I already know this little microcosm that is me. I want to know what's going on outside my microcosm. And I have a thing to share, and maybe you also like it too. But if you don't, then at least we're talking about something other than the things I already know. I'm bored. I want extra stimulation. And, let's talk about it, right? So it's a
little novel thing to like be interested in.
Yeah, exactly. I like, that was actually one of the things that told me that Lauren and I were going to be friends, because like one of the first things she asked me was if I could be a beverage, what kind would I be and why? And I was like,
what's happening here?
Huh? I was like, very rarely does someone else beat me to the weirdness. I think we must be friends, and here we are. Yeah. So it works. But yeah,
I can I ask a comment real quick? You're at home. I asked. You're at home relaxing, and you are relaxing in jeans.
I am not. I am wearing jeans for you.
Why?
Because the other option is that I'm not wearing pants. I'm not doing that to the internet. Okay.
I mean, it will be there for all time, so
Yeah.
And then I didn't know Lauren was coming. So could you imagine if I'd been like, I am not wearing pants, and then also Lauren, the first time I've seen her in ages.
Maybe Lauren wouldn't be wearing pants. You wouldn't know. Look, we're all pop up. Who cares?
You saw I have jeans.
I am wearing shorts. Gym shorts.
But you see, I'm wearing jeans. If I had to get up to, oh my God, could you imagine if I had to go close the door because my dogs are barking and I wasn't wearing pants?
That would have been.
We notice. We would definitely notice.
You guys would have been like,
the funniest thing ever.
Like, do we bring it up?
I would have come and sat back down, and everybody would have been quiet.
What would have been funnier is if you got up to close it. If you got up to take care of your dog, and you were wearing a diaper and you ran off. That would have been way more interesting.
Doug, do I judge what you do in your spare time? Rude. Okay. Don't judge me.
No, thankfully.
Somebody just asked, where is this going? We don't know either. But it's cute that you think that we do. I appreciate that you think that we do. We don't.
I actually do have a question about.
It's going somewhere.
So no, but it's. I know you mentioned that, like, so I heard you talking in the past about you being an audio processor, like meaning like you need to. I'm gonna need to talk this out because I need to. It's in my brain and I can't work this out, or I need to info dump.
Yeah.
And I'm a person that does not do that.
My husband isn't either.
Get to the fucking point. Like, I am a person to get to the fucking point. And so my daughter is very much, I'm going to process everything out loud.
Uh-huh.
And I get to a point where I can't help it. My brain starts tuning out.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife is great. She's just like, I get it. My brain can do that. So she does that. And I'm like, I feel like an ass because I'm not sitting there for my daughter, but I can't handle it. I don't need to hear the 15 steps you got to why this happened. Give me 5 steps and I'm good. But like, that's not how they process.
No.
So how do you navigate that if your husband is not that? Like, Lauren, I don't know about your partner if he does that as well. Like, how do you deal with that? Like, if there's a difference in the way you process things, how do you navigate that?
talking to a spouse or partner is going to be different than talking to your father, because me and my husband, generally the only reason that we are having a long conversation like that is because he has done something that's pissed me off, or I've done something that pissed him off. And so that is more of an exchange of ideas. It's like asking him questions and him asking me questions. And so it doesn't quite go in that direction. For your daughter, get her a voice journal. That's the number one suggestion.
Dude, I have tried voice journals. Like, here, write this in a journal.
Yeah, writing, right? Like, see, the problem with
They don't do
writing, the problem with writing is it doesn't keep up with your thought processing. If she thinks that fast, writing's not going to work.
Oh,
She needs to be
her
able
mind
to
goes up. Her mind is like a bullet train in China. It just
yeah. So she needs to be able to talk it out. She needs to be able to like.
And I can respect that. I just can't process it that way.
No. I don't necessarily mean with
that
you.
is overwhelming to me. If that makes sense, like that's an overwhelm for me.
Well, that's why I'm saying not even necessarily with you. Like, I use a and this is another usage for AI, but she doesn't have to use it. I don't use Chat GPT or anything. I use an app called Untold that is a voice journaling app, and you talk to it, and basically it'll kind of give you, psychological concepts that are going through it. Sometimes it'll help you through ACT processing, which stands for, oh my God, I should know this. It stands for acceptance. Oh no. Acceptance.
Everybody to the Google
Acceptance and commitment therapy. I win.
I'm not fast enough. My phone was locked.
I'm making a comment, so I was like, you guys will get it. I know you will.
Acceptance commitment therapy, but it'll like help you talk through certain things and reframe ideas and stuff like that. And it's very helpful to me. If it's not something that you want to use, there are actual voice journals out there that do not use AI, but I would highly suggest that she plays around with them and tries to find something that works in that regard, because I get the need to process, but also I also understand how it's not fair to the people around me, because nobody really wants to hear, how I got. Well, maybe Lauren does, but she's also kind of just as bad at external processing as me sometimes. So, it's fine. It turns into stream of consciousness, really, for the most part. It works. But like most people, are going to struggle trying to listen to you talk about how you get to a concept. And so really what she needs to do is find a way to speak to like an app or something like that that's going to help her keep track of her thoughts. That would be my number one suggestion.
She has that with my wife. Like I said, my wife is fantastic about being able to listen and help them process and all that. It's great. I'm 10 minutes in and I'm like, we're nowhere near a point. And I am like, get to a point kind of person. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, like if you have an idea or a thought, give it to me right up and I'm good. Or even if you have a little bit of here's my thought process. You tell me ahead of time, here's my thought process. And you give me a 5-minute synopsis of how you got there. Great. If you're going to give me a 30-minute process of like, this person said this, and then this, and then I thought this, and it's like the guy in the meme where he has 20 fucking red lines going across the poster board and all that. Like that, I can't do. My brain just is like, I'm going to shut down now because I can't. That's not a fault of them. It is just a difference in how our brains work.
Well, there's just a difference in processing. And that's why you need, I don't know, you need somebody like your wife who can be the bridge, because it's kind of difficult, And as your daughter gets older, she'll probably learn concepts that will help her, do that better. But for right now, it's a learning game. I'm still not great at it. There are times where I tell stories and I realize that I have told 2 side stories and never finished my original story. And that's just kind of how it goes, man. You get people who are either really good at listening or you just kind of realize nobody else is listening. And I'm officially at the point in my life where I just finish at that point. I'm just like, fuck it, we ball. I'm this far in, I'm just going to keep going. And
hold on.
I'm just sunken cost fallacy, man. I'm like, I don't know. I'm already in. I might as well just finish. So I think that, you know, your heart's in the right place. I'm sure she understands. And it's just something that I think is going to get better as time goes.
I have another bonus quick thought, maybe quick, because I'm not succinct either sometimes. Sorry, Doug. I feel like some of it is like, because processing is a thing. Sometimes there's like processing in the sense of like, I'm trying to figure out a thing and I want your help versus like processing and it's mostly for me, but I need to do it out loud and it's like feels better with a person than by myself. And so if it's like, you know, like the processing, venting versus like processing, advising conversation version.
Well, they don't want advice. They don't want advice.
Sure. So some of it is
they
like,
don't want advice. And if you give advice, they will say, great, I'm going to do what I want to do anyhow. I'm like,
try getting her a rubber duck. Rubber ducking.
That's real.
Yeah.
That's a thing. That like software developers?
It is. I think it's software. Like, weren't you in IT?
That's where I feel like,
or I think it's software. I think it's software development.
But if it's technically, if it's tangible and you can touch it, it's hardware. It's not software. But
no. But no. Rubber ducking is a process that happened in like software or something where it's like someone is literally just like talking to themselves, but like to a duck, but it's just them saying stuff out loud helps them figure it out, which is the audio processing part, which is just politely, you're the rubber duck in this scenario.
Not my wife.
Well, your wife is. But like, if you want to be there, you're more than a rubber duck. But like,
Lauren, he's a rubber duck.
Oh my
God! It was right there. It was right there. Come on.
Greg just did this in the background.
No, it's great. So like, you can be
rubber
that.
Dog. Yay!
On top of it. I'm sorry, I was not on top of it, but it's true, and it's a great point. But it is just like, if it's about being there, and it's like, you don't want to like not listen. And I get the like, you can tune out a little bit, and I don't want to be. I think that some of it, with all neurotypical, neurodivergent, different brains, neurodivergent or typical, whatever, we all just exist differently, right? And it's like, how do we exist together? And so I think that there's something about like, how can I do what you need and you can do what I need a little. It's like, if you're trying to audio process and I'm having a hard time thinking, can your like brain stay attuned and on if you're like doodling or like doing a jigsaw puzzle, which is like not thinking about something else, but like listening, but giving you something to do so you stay in like a more active state or something like that. But and it's like, just because I'm doing this jigsaw puzzle doesn't mean I'm not listening to you, but I like need to do. That's a neurodivergent thing, right? Like, I just need to like mess with a fidgety thing to be able to process and be in the moment, and like, that's real. And if that's okay and people understand that, like, maybe that's a way to kind of meet in the middle.
My daughter, if you are not completely focused on them and what they're saying, they get mad. You're not paying attention to me.
So one other idea that you might,
and I'm like, I'm trying, but like, listen, your mom's
but oh
listening.
my God, no,
I got to get up and go do. And I'm also, I'm a person who doesn't sit still well. I need to be up and I need to be quote unquote productive. And Lauren and I have talked about this multiple times. That whole, I need to be productive all the time. That bucket sucks, but that is how my brain works. So if I'm sitting there for 10 minutes and I'm not doing something, I feel like I am wasting something. And that, again, that is just the difference in brain chemistry and how our brains process things.
One suggestion that might help, keep her on
well, this is in
track.
person.
To keep her on track and to also keep you letting her know that you are involved while also doing what you want, is to not necessarily ask questions about what she's talking about, because that could lead her down other paths, and then that's exactly what you're trying not to do, right? But maybe what you do is you try something that I was actually taught to do for my kids when they were toddlers, and that is repeat the last few words that they say. So
I do that sometimes.
Yeah. So if Lauren's like, yeah, oh my God, I was, walking down the street and this guy dropped tomatoes in front of me and I had to walk around him. I go, oh, so you had to walk around the guy who dropped the tomatoes? Yeah. And then he blah, 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 blah. And then, like, I got tomatoes on my shoe. And I'm like, wow, you got tomatoes on your shoes? Like, you don't want to be that obvious about it, but by repeating the last few words, you're showing I'm listening to you. right? But you could still be doing something. And you're kind of keeping her on task because you're reminding her of the last thing she said. And then if she starts going, oh, and that reminds me of the story about, did you know that ragu sauce? You're like, okay, interesting. So is it the kind of tomatoes that were on the guy's shoes? Like bring her back to where she was. And it may at least free up some of your time. That, or she'll start being like, why are you asking me so many questions? I don't know. I don't want to promise that it's going to work. It's a possibility. That's all I'm going to say.
Who's to say?
Who's to say? Are you done? Did you finish? Are you fully classy now? Not yet.
I mean, what comes below classy? What's the bottom? I don't really know what this
Sober.
Oh, well, but if you start up here, that feels
no, but if you
incorrect.
see, those lines are for where you start. Those lines aren't for where you are.
Gassy?
Like the lines were like, it would be the opposite. If you started
I'm pretty sure Greg's the only one that heard my answer.
I didn't hear it. What was it?
I said gassy.
Gassy.
I was like, is gassy?
I mean, it follows the pattern.
I'm
you
officially.
think you get more classy the more you drink? Because I certainly don't.
I'm
so goes badassy, sassy, classy, gassy.
Gassy. You're no longer worrying about being classy.
I guess that's true. I'm not there yet, but soon.
I hope we're still here at that point. I can't wait. Assy.
Also possible. No pants.
She twerked it. Oh my God, you guys. Every time. So much fun.
Arianna, what are you up to? What's been going on? You don't have any books out? You don't, I don't know. What's going on? Tell us what's going on in the creative process.
Somebody's like going commando on this show. Giving me ideas for next time, I guess. So actually, what I have been doing is focusing on being an author. I have always been an author in spirit. I've always wanted to be one professionally. And I guess I have been for quite a while, but I've always felt very weird about saying it because there's this whole belief that like, if your books aren't selling like Stephen King, you can't say that you are an author. And I don't know what changed. I really don't. But eventually I just started kind of being like, I'm tired of not admitting that that's what I want, even if that might not be the most lucrative. That's one thing. I don't know if you guys know this or not, anybody who's listening, but a lot of people tend to think that authors make a ton of money. And even the ones that you might be buying a book from in Barnes and Noble most likely are not. And just finally, originally my dream since I was a kid was to have a book in like Barnes and Noble, to be traditionally published, to be able to say, I'm with Simon & Schuster, I'm with, one of the big five. And I've been working on this novel that I'm releasing next year for about 3 years. And I was about to start going with the process of querying, which is where you talk to an agent and you try to get them to read your book, and you basically become the most vulnerable so-and-so out there, and you beg them to read your book, and if they like it, they sign you, and then you're off to the races. And I really wanted to do that, but as I started working on my query letter, literally the day before, I found out that the word count that they expect for new authors is 100,000 words or less. That's not a lot. To let you guys know, 100,000 words is like 200 some odd pages.
Depending on the font and all that, yeah. But
yeah, and a lot of us read books that are much, much longer than that. My book is 146,000 words. So if I was going to send it in, I would have to have cut 1/3 of my book. And originally I freaked out and was like, I'm going to have to figure out how to do this in one day. What the hell am I going to do? And then it was like this little voice in the back of my head was like, but why? Why would we do that? For what reason? I feel like this is the ultimate sign that this isn't the way that we're meant to do it. We've already self-published. And granted, I grew up in a time where the only people who self-published were like wackadoos. That's the nicest way I can think to put that. And so it wasn't, I still even remember being on Reddit as little as, I want to say 7 or 8 years ago. And someone was excitedly showing that they had published their book. They self-published it. And all of the comments were saying things like, you self-published, that doesn't count. That's not real. You're not a real. Yeah. So, you know, you grow up during a time where you can't self-publish. And then the attitude about self-publishing is initially so derogatory. So even though I self-published my book back in 2020, I was like, but that doesn't count. That's not real. Like, that's not being a real author. And the attitudes have very quickly shifted. There are books that are very popular, thanks to TikTok, of all places, that were self-published. And I finally just kind of realized that that's the way that I wanted to go. I could have cut it down and started asking someone to pay attention, but I was like, why put my dream in the hands of someone else? Why put it up to someone else whether or not I can actually do this on my own? So I decided instead to self-publish, and now I'm just working on getting it together so that I can release it probably March of 2027. In the meantime, starting in May, probably the week of May, what is that? May 22nd. Thank you. Starting like the week, I think, of May 22nd, I am going to have it available for people on my Patreon to be able to read the book before anybody else. They'll read about a chapter or two a month as a serial. And then hopefully the actual book will be released March of 2027. I'm hoping to release it as a birthday gift for myself. So, yeah, that's basically what I'm doing right now. The Patreon is already up, but right now the only writing that is available is short stories that I've been doing that are purposely stupid, very bad erotica. It's like, you know, a story about where I try to use as many ridiculous euphemisms for breast as possible. Or I have like another one in there that's like making fun of 50 Shades of Grey. So that's the kind of stuff that I have right now. But yeah, if you know that's something that you think you'd be interested in, that helps to support me. Following me on YouTube helps to support me. I talk about not just my book. I actually talk about books because I love to read. It's one of my favorite things. And I also talk about mythology and folklore a lot because my book is based in mythology and folklore, and that is my jam. I think the video coming out tomorrow is actually about gods who have died and resurrected in mythology and folklore. And that's that was a really fun one. There's a lot. I only did 4 because I don't have that kind of time. But there were some it's always like I always have to hold myself back from wanting to tell the stories because the stories are so unhinged. Like the people back then just did not give a shit. They were like, I have a story for you. And I'm going to tell it and it's going to make no sense. And there's going to be incest and horses having sex with people and people's moms are also their sisters and their cousins and their queens. And you're going to listen to it. And that's it. And it's bizarre. But I've been having a lot of fun talking about those things. And
yeah, y'all can get the horse sex up here in the QR code right there leads to Arianna's.
Maybe we don't. I don't know.
Do we need to attach that? Is that the right selling point?
Tie me to the horse, even though, Lauren, no, I don't know because I know that you guys, at least I know Doug and Lauren are following me on Instagram.
I was like, where is this going?
No, Lauren, boy, do I have a story for you. No, so on Instagram, Lauren, I don't know if you've seen it, but I went viral recently, and the video that went viral was a story about Loki seducing a horse as a horse and then having sex with the horse and then 9 months later having the
Loki baby,
the horse baby. The horse's name is Sleipnir. And
okay, so Greg is not wrong, I guess.
So, but that's not, I hope that's not the only thing I'm going to be known for. I legitimately, I did have that worry. I was like, if this is the only video.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're known, you're known, right, Lauren? And Lauren, you're known to us. But...
Whoa. Lauren, are you known for
You're known to us, but Lauren, I think you're going to say goodbye here, right?
I might have to run away in a little bit, but I didn't want to take over. But I want to say hi.
Oh,
I'll try. I'll see if I can come back, but
I'm
I'll let you have
fine.
some space.
Oh, well, that's fine. You're dead to me. Bye.
Wow, that happened so quick.
Love you.
Well, I guess that's the end of everything. Nice knowing y'all.
Thanks for the fish.
I was so glad to see you, Lauren. Seriously, it is always so much fun.
And if you can pop back on and we're on, please do.
I will try and check back in on you all a little bit, but I will leave horseplay or whatever.
I'm glad that I didn't know you were leaving, so I love that that's the last thing you're leaving.
I know it's a rough exit, but I don't know if it would get better. It might get worse.
It probably is, to be honest. So.
But yeah, good press, bad press. It's all press, I guess. So anytime I get to see you, regardless of whatever the topic, is lovely. It's weird sometimes, but I still like it.
Sometimes. Let's be real. It's weird every time.
Got to hang out a little bit, maybe see you in a bit, but otherwise, had to come say hi.
Yeah, thanks for popping on, Lauren.
Always happy to be here.
Cheers.
I'm never the first one to leave. I mean, I'm never the last one to leave. I'm very fascinated by this concept.
I know, it's weird for me too.
All right.
Lauren, you know how to do that.
Oh my gosh, you guys. That was a fantastic surprise. I always love seeing her. She's amazing.
Yeah.
Us too. Lauren, are you leaving?
Are you hanging out or are you leaving?
No, I wasn't. I'm staying. I don't have anywhere to be.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, let's do this, y'all. I wanted to get to this because the stuff that Arianna sent us is so fascinating. I think it is. That's not what I was doing though. It was this. So you're reading or you've read or reading a couple books that are very interesting. The start of
yes, this book is a 5-star. I love this book so much. So great. Yes. Absolutely. This is not what I'm reading right now. I finished it. That's the last book I finished. No, it's the second to last book I finished. I am now on a different book, but The Adventures of Amina al-Sarafi is so cool. Are you asking me to tell people what this is?
Yeah.
If you can give a little summation at least. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So this is a book about a middle-aged female pirate who actually has retired from piracy at the start of the book, like way before the start of the book, about 10 years before. And she winds up kind of being contracted / threatened into helping go get this old lady's granddaughter who has been abducted. And she winds up kind of getting together with her old crew. They're fighting this like sorcerer type guy. I kid you not, this was some of the most fun I think I've ever had reading a book. It was hardcore 5-star. Love it. Yeah, it's a good one to read. And it's part of a series, actually. There are, I think, 2 more. So I'm very, I don't know when I'm going to get to the next book because I randomize my 2 read. So it's kind of
you
like
roulette it.
I do. But you know why? ADHD. Because if I left it up to myself to just go in order, I wouldn't. And there are a lot of books that I would probably like skip. So this makes sure that I read the things that I put on that list, which was funny because I went from that book to a book called The Formidable Miss Cassidy, which was okay. And then but it was like kind of cutesy. And then it went from that to Holly by Stephen King, which is a completely different vibe. So it's just like sometimes I do wind up bouncing around between like, this book is so cute and funny and happy to, now we're reading about murder. So,
well, while we're here, what's going on with this? I'm sorry, Doug. We'll get to that now.
So I'm about 70% through this one. I haven't finished it, but it is good. I would definitely say that when I finish this, it's probably going to be a 3.5, 3.75. It is not my favorite Stephen King book ever, but it's good. It is about a woman who is a private investigator, and she has OCD, and she is investigating a bunch of disappearances. That's all I can tell you, because there are a lot of twists and turns and surprises, but it's good. It definitely grabbed me from the beginning. It's just not the, it's not the best Stephen King book.
Doug, you had a question in there?
No, I was just saying murder. I was
Murder.
Okay, and then you were telling us about this one.
Oh my God, dude. Okay, so especially between the two of you, Doug, for some reason, I don't know, I could be wrong, but I feel like you would love this one specifically. This is written by Stephen Graham Jones, who is an Indigenous man living in Texas, and he wrote this book. And it's a story within a story within a story. The wraparound story is that a woman finds a manuscript from her great-great-great-grandfather living in, I believe it's 1912, in the American Old West. He is a priest. And then you get to his story, and what he is doing is he is writing down a story that is dictated to him by an Indigenous man who is a vampire and spends pretty much decades as a vampire murdering and making the life difficult of a bunch of different, buffalo killers and cowboys and colonialists. It's so cool. It was so good. The only warning that I would give is if anybody wants to read this, it does start out feeling kind of dense and a little difficult to follow. But I realize that the reason for that is that you cannot read this the way that you read a lot of popular fiction. You can't read it and try to engage with it. You have to kind of sit back and let the words happen. And once you do that, it starts to make sense and it moves really well. And it would actually make an amazing movie, frankly. I think it would be so cool. It would be a really Indigenous-led slasher flick, which would be awesome.
Yeah, I read the Only Good Indians.
Yeah, which is by the same guy, right?
Yeah, and that was an excellent book. There's another book of his that I read that I love. But
see, so I do know you, Doug. I know. I'm right. You would love it.
I believe I would. I just haven't gotten to it yet. And as with you, I'm sure you have like a pile of TBR that is a TBR fucking 40 books high. Like it's just
I always tell people my TBR hates seeing me come. That is not. Oh my God, not what I meant. Hate seeing me coming.
I wasn't gonna say anything, and you're the one that did that. You're the one. I was just gonna gloss right past that.
Okay, that's fine. You know what? I've done something to everybody else tonight. I needed to get myself once. It's fine. I'll live. It's cool. But it's just like every time I talk to people about books, there's a new book every time. In fact, you just reminded me, Doug, of The Only Good Indians. I need to add that to mine as well. So there's another one.
There's another one, and we have this one.
And another one.
That one. That one is, so this one, if you can hold on until October, like until Halloween, this is a great book for that. The September House is, when I first read what this was about, I actually thought it was going to be a comedy. It sounded like a sitcom. It's not. It has humor, but it is a horror book. It is about a woman who buys her dream home with her husband. And it turns out that this house is severely haunted and it gets worse every September. And her husband disappears. And then right after her husband disappears, her daughter freaks out and says that she's going to fly down to help her look for the guy. And I'm sure you can guess what month she's coming down to visit. So the rest of the book is the mother trying to keep the house from showing the daughter all of its horrors. And there are parts that are funny, but there are parts that are very poignant. Carissa Orlando actually does an incredible job tying in a lot of things about this house with domestic violence. So if that's not something you're comfortable reading about, you might not want to read this, but she does an incredible job with it. I even remember when I was reading this, when I got I'm not giving anything away, but when I got close to the end, it looked like she was going in a certain direction. I was like, oh, she almost had me. This would have been a 5-star book, but I'm really not liking this ending. And then she switched it around and did the exact ending I was hoping we would have. It's like, it really is just a perfect book start to finish. And, you know, also it just kind of reminds me of every time that I have had that conversation with people where I've been like, if you could find your perfect house and it's within your price range and everything, but you knew there were horrible murders there, would you move there? And you always get different answers. Mine is no, by the way. I would not. So this would not have happened to me. However, you know what I think is very interesting is every time I've asked this in mixed race company, people who are not white are like, no. People who are white are like, yeah, I would. I don't know what that says. I don't know why. But white people are almost always like, yeah, I would.
Not
totally.
me.
Not Dog! Me. Well, welcome. Welcome.
But the funny thing is if there was something like that, and I would take Jill, and Jill is very sensitive to a lot of different stuff that I'm not. And, you know, it's something where it's like, when we were shopping for houses, we saw like 65 houses. And she saw a listing come up for this. It didn't even have pictures. And she's like, that's our house.
Wow.
And we went and saw it. And she's like, this is it. Like, we saw houses. We saw several houses. She walked in and was like, nope. And immediately walked out. I'm like, not the house for us. Sorry. Thanks. And I just trust her judgment.
Yeah. Sometimes you just know, you know, actually the house that I'm living in right now, the one that you guys see me in, did not look like this when we first checked it out. And my husband actually had to show it to me 4 times. Because every time he showed it to me, one thing that you would find out if you were to look up Costa Rican real estate is that the pictures are terrible. They're always bad. And this one was even worse because this woman made some very questionable decoration choices. There was a room that we like to call the dolphin room. It was the only room and everything was dolphin. There was a dolphin coffee table. There was dolphin wallpaper. Were the couches dolphin? No, but the side tables were dolphin. The TV was hanging from some sort of weird, like S&M type chain.
A sex swing.
Yeah. This room that I'm in, my bedroom right here, the ceiling and the walls were painted purple and black. That back window that you see behind me was nothing but orange doors that were chained. You couldn't see outside at all. And to me, the biggest thing was that my bathroom it was all maroon and the tub in the picture was covered in Virgin Mary statues. And I remember when I saw that, I turned to Mark and I said, exactly. And I turned to my husband and I said, the tub is maroon because that's where they do the blood sacrifices and she needs it to blend in. And he's like, you're being ridiculous. I said, no, I'm not. So he finally pushed and I said, you know what? If we look at this house and I say no, that's it. And he said, fine. And to my surprise, when we pulled up, I got out of the car. I hadn't even walked into the house yet. And I said, this is the house. I don't know why. I can't tell you. It's just this feeling you have. So
same thing with Jill. Just like,
yeah.
Like, this is the house.
Yep. You just know. So
yeah.
I don't know.
I would like to point out that the September house was blurred by Grady Hendrix, who wrote a book called How to Sell a Haunted House.
Did he really? Oh, that's amazing.
I have that and I haven't read it, but everybody says that book is fantastic. But the idea that he blurbed that and it's a book about a haunted house and he wrote a whole book about that, that's awesome. So
I've legitimately learned that the blurb says a lot about whether or not you're going to want to read the book. So I need to check that guy out. So thank you, Doug. You've now given me 2 books. Stop it. Please.
Well, I have more I can give you for sure.
Oh, yay. The Silent Companions. That's a good one too.
This looks very much like a period piece.
It is. So I have a soft spot for Victorian era horror. And I want to 100% right now admit that Victorian horror has its problems. One of them being that when things happen, people are way too British about it. They're just kind of like, someone falls down the stairs and dies and they're like, oh my, and that's it. And it's kind of frustrating. But that being said, this book is awesome. It's really good. I feel like I can't even really tell you too much about it because I give it away, but it is a haunted house. It's another haunted house. It is haunted by something other than ghosts. There are 3 timelines in this one, but they are not confusing. They all make sense. And yeah, it's really good. Like I said, their only problem is just how like proper everybody is about crazy shit happening. Like even when people start dying in the house, there's this attitude of like, huh, that's odd. Time for tea. It's like, all right, we're all good with that. Cool. Even when they admitted that the town around them doesn't even like to come in the house because so many people have died by accident. But no questions. They're just like, all right, well, he fell down the stairs. Must have been the wind. It's like, okay. But it's a really good book. It's and I'm not trying to say this to say like I'm some kind of badass or whatever, but it's really hard to creep me out. I don't get creeped out very easily. I love horror movies. I like horror books. This one did a very good job of being creepy. And so if you guys like horror novels, it's another perfect like Halloween type book. Matter of fact, I've just realized most of that is horror. I swear I read more than horror and like more than horror. It's just that's what's been falling in my lap a lot.
That's a draw.
It's just what's been happening. Been doing a lot of horror. I could tell you guys the worst book I've read recently. If you'd like to hear that.
Then let's all hear that before we jump into what I read. But yeah.
It's called The Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. It's terrible. Don't read it. It was like a 1.75 for me. It's Twilight for adults, and it frustrated me.
It was made into a series on AMC.
I know. And from what I understand, that is also bad. And I feel like, it makes sense. The source material sucks ass. It's like
sucks ass.
It does. It sucks ass. It should be called Discovery of Witches.
Discovery of Witches Who Suck Ass.
Discovery of Witches Who Suck Ass. It sucks ass. All right. There is nothing like I had to really, really fight to find anything redeeming about this book. I'm not even going to get into it because I can rant forever and I want Doug to get to his books. But all I will tell you is that it's angering. It's really hard to get into, for me, at least, any book where a guy admits he's like, if you get into a relationship with me, you're mine. I own you. I'm very possessive. It's like, ew. And also, ew. So yeah, there's just so much about it that I can't do. It is not well written. It's a bad book. I would say don't watch the show, but I haven't seen the show, but don't watch the show and don't read the book. Okay. That's it for me. I'm not going to keep going. Go ahead, Doug.
All right, Doug.
All right. So let's start with the horror book.
Horror?
Start with a horror book.
So this is a book I mentioned before. I never finished it. I am about halfway through this, and it is very good. It's basically like this Boy Scout troop they have to get their badges on this. They take this trip in Maine to this island to go do their last set of badges. And a guy shows up he's not a zombie. That's not the right terminology for what he is, but he gets infected with something. He escapes a government lab that was experimenting on people, and he escapes. Ooh. And he does a rowboat over this thing, but he has to eat. And I mean eat. He'll eat dirt. He'll eat anything. It is like a fascinating sort of take on the zombie idea, but it's a zombie with cognizance. So it's like really interesting. I'm about halfway through. Really well done. It's a super good book. The blurb on the top is from Stephen fucking King. So like the idea that he blurbed the book means that, listen, he's not going to bat 1,000. Like, that's
who
Stephen King.
Will really? Nobody.
And also it's interesting, like these more recent Stephen King books, you can tell he's sort of lost his fastball to me.
He has. You're seeing that even in Holly, where I'm like, ooh, we're kind of off just a little bit.
Yeah, I was reading a series of short stories he did called You Like It Darker. That was pretty good because it was a lot of short stories. And short stories, man, he used to just do some fucking wackadoodle. Short stories. And they were awesome because they were so fucking weird.
To be fair, he was also doing a lot of coke back then.
Yeah, he was. But like he was very famously did that, was like an addict of coke and fucking booze and whatever drugs he could get. So this is very good halfway through. I'm about halfway through that. So I like that one.
Okay.
I have two more, and the other one are book club books. This I literally just started. I'm like 20 pages into it. It's called Little Children. So I'm going to read you the synopsis from Goodreads, where it's basically an unhappily married Sarah passes her days at the local playground with a 3-year-old daughter. When an happily unemployed Todd, also married, and Sarah meet, their attraction is immediate. And I'm like, okay. And then it says they begin a passionate affair just as their suburban utopia is rattled by the arrival of a registered sex offender named Ronald James McGorvey.
Oh my God.
And with McGorvey in town, disgusted parents wonder if any of their little children will be safe. And I'm like, what the fuck does the affair have to do with it? So like I am just starting this. So I'm really curious. This was actually made into a movie as well. So I'm like, that's a terrible synopsis for a book.
I have so many questions, and none of them I want answers to.
I'm not gonna be able to say much because literally I just started that book. That's for my book club.
That sounds interesting, Doug. Doug likes interesting things.
Yeah, that's a very different kind of book there.
Yeah. So this was the one I read last month. It's basically they said it's a biography. It's more like a historical fiction. And Sarah Kidd was the wife of William Kidd, who was a pretty famous pirate. Back in like the late 1600s, early 1700s in New York City was where it starts. But New York City is New Amsterdam at that point. It's tiny. Like it's nothing like, and it's just interesting reading this thing because it was like 200 pages. There were like 60 pages of like an appendix for all these citations of all the historical elements to it, which is interesting just in the idea that like she spent that much time doing it, but she would say shit like, well, she might have done this. And I'm like, that's not a biography. That's historical fiction.
You said true story. You can't say she might have and say true story. You're cheating.
Yes. But what is interesting is seeing how like someone considered wealthy back then versus now is like super fascinating. Like they would sell estates for like $600, and that was a fucking ginormous amount of money. Dude. And that's the kind of stuff that's really interesting. But yeah, and just like the politics of like Britain was involved because we were a British colony, like just the idea of all that shit and like all the intrigue of the politics between like the governorship and that part was really interesting to me. Just the idea of like trying to position as here's a biography. No, it's not. That's a historical fiction book.
Yeah, you're lying. Ma'am, that's not true.
She wrote really well. It was a good book. It's actually a pretty good book. So,
Doug, you actually reminded me a little bit. I just wanted to tie this off with you reminded me a little bit. I read Mel Brooks's biography a long time ago, and the thing that killed me in that biography is he talked about how much things cost when he was a little kid. And it was insane. His mother would give him 10 cents. And with those 10 cents, he would get to go to the movies and afterwards go for ice cream and a comic book with 10 cents. I'm like, 10 cents wouldn't even buy me like a half a comic book now. And you were able to do, he said that he had to get a tooth pulled and his mom took him to the dentist. And his mother was like, the dentist basically said 50 cents for a tooth pull, $1 for a filling. And she paid the 50 cents just to have the tooth pulled. She didn't want to have a filling. But crazy, right? Like 50 cents. There was a time where you could go and get your teeth done for 50 cents to $1.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I have one other thing before we go. I had to talk about this. Look at this bottle. Look how cute this is.
It is cute.
It is a Elegant 8. It is a Belgian double from Strange Bird.
Is it supposed to be a monk? Is that supposed to be a monk?
No, it's a little lady with a babushka.
Oh, okay.
It's really cute. But I want to read the side to you because this is really fun. Strange Bird, bottled and brewed by Strange, Rochester, New York. The Belgians follow an ancient path. We carry their traditions, but have forgotten the math. St. Arnold brought beer and altered our fate. Black Death kept away the elegance of 8. Whatever the fuck that means, that's what they put on the side of the bottle. Like,
I don't think it matters, really. They're probably hoping that by the time you're reading that, you're like 6 in and don't really know.
It's a very, very, very good double, though.
It's pretty color.
So Strange Bird, all of their beers just make the really cool, different artwork on their cans, and their beers have not missed. I have one beer from them that I didn't like. So
That's crazy.
All right. Well,
By the way, if anybody wants a book suggestion I have not read, but is my next book, it's called I Will Kill Your Imaginary Friend for $200. But if you read it,
What a name.
I know. And it's actually the next book up for me. So if any of you read it and you don't like it, don't get mad at me. But that is a non-horror novel, and it sounds like it's hilarious. So that's my last little book suggestion.
all right. Well, Doug?
All right. So, yeah. You want me to go?
Yeah.
All right. So I had this. This is an IPA. This was not bad. My Righteous Self. Thank you, Daniel Fisher, for sending this to me because I'm going to enjoy it just because there's free beer. So that was all right.
Not bad is not a great endorsement, though.
Yeah, it's because I'm not an IPA fan. You know that it could be other people might really dig that more. Nightshade from Bittersweet Brewing out of Franklin, New York. This was really good, really, really tasty, really cool artwork. But my favorite thing was this little Belgian double. This was really good, really cute label. So that's what I had.
I had Supermoon's Steam Beers. Excellent, like everything that they do. And Arianna, please let us know what you had, but also that little QR code.
Yeah.
That goes to Arianna's Patreon, which we'll talk about here to lead us out, as they say.
Oh, so I'm talking about the Patreon now?
Yeah, and what you had to drink, we always share that. You had Costa Rica's finest, right?
I had pure H2O. And it
from
was
Costa Rica well.
From Costa Rican wells. It was good. I would highly suggest that if you have not had water today, this is your sign to go have it. And yeah, I don't know. I don't really drink anymore, but I am very excited actually to when I visit Austin, that stay is going to be stopped for a little bit because I really miss hard ciders. And there is a cider in Austin called Angry Orchard that's very popular. And so I will probably treat myself to one or two of those. I miss those. So yeah, all right.
Tell us what's coming up and what's going on. What can we look for?
If you guys, it depends on what you're looking for. If you want to read some of my stuff now, you can go to my Patreon and then there. You can join right now it is the highest tier. It's only $5 a month, but if you want to do the middle tier, it will be the middle tier eventually. It's only $5 a month, like I said, and it's basically short stories for me. And right now I'm doing purposely stupid, funny, erotica and romance stories. And then starting in May, I will be including a higher up tier for about $9 a month. You'll be able to read 1 to 2 chapters of my upcoming book every month, and you'll get to kind of talk to me about characters and ask questions, and it's going to be a really fun time. Really trying to look to bond with people who like folklore and find medicine and herbalism and frankly violence interesting, because it is an urban fantasy and kind of like an adventure novel. That'll be coming out March 2027. If you don't feel like dealing with any of that right now, or if you would like to wait until May to see the Patreon, but you want to know when it's happening, follow me on Instagram or TikTok. Either one of those are good, or on YouTube. Really, I am most active on YouTube. I post new videos once a week, usually about books or folklore mythology, but I also will be telling everybody there when the Patreon has it available for you to read parts of my book. So those are all the ways that you can keep in touch with me, and hopefully I'll be seeing you guys around then at some point. That would be great.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. And one final note, Doug and I won't be here next week because we will be in
Barrels on the Bayou, baby. We'll be in New Orleans.
I was about to say, is that Louisiana? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Jealous.
Yeah. Then the week after that, Doug, we have a after Bayou special, which I don't know if I'll be here for.
Okay.
Then, Doug, the week after that, we have a week off.
Yeah, so it's gonna be busy. Well, sort of busy few weeks off camera, but
yeah, well, we're gonna be busy and doing all kinds of vacation things. But we want to thank Arianna again.
I love being here, guys. I really, really do. So thank you so much for having me. And if I'm allowed to get just a little bit mushy for just a second, I am very glad that I met you guys. I can't even remember how I met you guys. I think I met Doug first and then Greg, I believe. But it's always been such a joy and an honor to know you guys. And I really, really appreciate you continually inviting me to come on here and talk with you guys. It's a real honor. So thank you very much.
And thank you.